Hello everyone, I'm Britt Waters, and today I'm answering my most asked question, whether I'm in person, on social media, everywhere. People want to know, how do you become a radio and TV host? Before we get into the tips and tricks, I'll tell you why I'm qualified to even make this video. I get asked because I've been in radio nationally and in top 10 markets for the past about 7 years. I studied at the University of Maryland, College Park. It was one of the top 10 journalism schools at the time. I went on to be on air and producer for the nationally syndicated Russ Parr Morning Show, where it all began. I went from there to working for Intercom Radio, my own show, and nights at Fresh FM, and now I'm doing weekends here. I'm also a game host for Monumental Sports. I have 3 TV shows on a local station in DC. So that's my story, but I want to get your story started. So, number 1 tip to starting your career, educate yourself. So my way of educating myself was going to school for it. I have a degree in broadcast journalism, but when I say educate yourself, learn the business. So it can be something like watching TV and studying the news people, or watching videos like this, or reading books about broadcasting. Figure it out what it is you want to do, whether it's broadcast, print, or digital, and study that platform. If it's radio, find which music format you want to do, or if it's AM talk radio, make sure you learn the business and understand what it is, and if you truly want to do it. Learn the DMA rankings. I think that's important. A lot of people say the entry-level opportunities are in small markets. There's a few in big markets too, so just figure out where you can fit in. Number 2, you're gonna need experience. But luckily, it's 2019 when I'm filming this video, and it's easy to gain experience. My first way of getting experience was starting my own radio show. I had a sports talk show in college. It made me comfortable behind a microphone because I did it every day. Me and my best friend would talk about sports, and it helped me. And then when I went to go apply for jobs, I could say, I've been a radio host for such and such years, that I was doing it, even if it was just me and my friend and our parents and roommates listening. Make sure you have experience. If you have a phone, you can start a podcast. If you have YouTube, you can start a TV show. It's easy and accessible these days, and if you need any type of help or app suggestions on that, just comment down below. Number 3 is getting out there, and that will be through volunteering and internships. If you decided to educate yourself in the business by going to college, usually with a degree in broadcasting, there's a certain level you get to where you have to have an internship, but if not, you can volunteer. That's how I got my first job. I was doing some volunteer work, and I asked to shadow some of the people that I really liked in the business. When I started on the morning show, they told me they didn't want to have an intern. I was like, okay, I'll just keep showing up. Then I became an intern, and then I was getting coffee, and I went from getting coffee to, oh, hey, say this real quick. And it became a character on the show. And then, hey, let me show you how to run the board, so when we step out, you can just take over for a few minutes. Little stuff that ended up for me being on air on a nationally syndicated show. And volunteering and internship, it's really can't be about the money. It has to be about the experience that you're gaining and the access that you're getting. Being in the right place at the right time can start any career. So number 4 is to create opportunities within that volunteer and internship. So when I was interning, everything they told me to do, but I also did extra stuff. So we would have a poll every day. I would take that poll question, and I would set up my camera, my tripod that I was renting from my school, and I would go out on campus and ask all my friends and film it on video, edit it, make a video package, send it to my boss. He never asked for those things. I don't even think he really watched them, but just him seeing my work ethic, my passion for what I was trying to do, it ended up making him realize how much I could do and how much more responsibility he could give me, and eventually trusting me to have an actual position and not just an internship. So make the opportunities. If you're shadowing someone and you see something that they're doing that's trivial that you can do, start doing it, or ask them if they need help, or just say, hey, I had this idea. Can you look at something real quick? It just puts you out there, and it creates opportunity. Number 5 is establishing relationships. Unfortunately, in this business, you can apply for a job online, but it's technically not really how I've ever gotten hired. It's always been through my boss, who knew this person's boss, who knew that person, who saw me here. Someone found me on Instagram. Somebody heard my name because they were driving and heard me say it on the radio, or I apply for something, and then actually, my job at Fresh, I applied and then I didn't email the program director till months later. And as soon as he got the email, he reached back and interviewed me and hired me. So it was more so about me getting his contact than applying online. So when I say establishing relationships, reach out to people who are doing what you want to do. And luckily, a lot of people are willing to help. And if they're not, at least they'll remember your name because you reached out. Every radio station goes out with a promotion street team and has a squad out there. Usually one of the jocks might go, or even if you're at a concert, there will be a table set up. Like, network with these people. If it's for television, go to the events, go to the station events, go to the local cities parade that you know they'll be at, and reach out to those people and establish those relationships. But as you gain mentors in this business, also remember to trust your gut. That's be like a bonus. Definitely trust your gut, because I've definitely taken advice from people that was great, but it wasn't for me. And I think as you grow and get experience in what you want, and you know what you want to see and how you want to see your life go, you'll learn how to trust your gut. All right, number 6, say what you want. I know it can be almost a little embarrassing when you're out here hustling for something that might not ever happen, but don't be ashamed of it. Cling on to the fact that you are working towards something and be open about what you're working towards. I remember when my station flipped back a few months back, and I was just like, you know what? I'm working and I really want a new full-time gig, or I want a new station to get on. I had hosting residencies. I was doing a whole bunch of other things. And I posted on Instagram, it was like a picture of me working. I was like blessed to be so booked and busy. But in the meantime, I'm looking for a new radio home. And that's how someone found me. They were just like, wow, we didn't know that she was even looking for something until she put it on Instagram in a caption. And for me, it was a humbling experience, because you never want to admit that, hey, I'm looking for work, but own it. And even if you have a job, be vocal about wanting something different within the company with your boss. My last boss was super helpful and helped me get this job, because I told him, I was just like, you know, I love where I'm at, but I really want to grow. So if you know any other opportunities, experiences, especially in the #1 market where I am now, please share them. And he did that. So be vocal about what it is that you want, and never be ashamed if you're not there yet. And my 7th and final, most important advice I can give for being a radio and TV host: be yourself. This job is a lot about your personality. So if you're faking it, people will know. And it's also really hard to keep up if you are faking something on TV or on the radio and someone sees you in real life and you're not that girl. Definitely be yourself. I mean, I've gotten so much great advice from great people that told me, you know, I'll never be Tamron Hall. I'll never be Barbara Walters. I will never be Wendy Williams. But I will always be Britt Waters, and you will always be yourself. And you never know, like, the things that you might not like about your personality, the weird accent you might have, the lisp you may have on certain words, or like just your unique opinion. You never know what the audience will cling on to, and what they'll relate to, and what will be magic, and what will be your signature. So definitely own that and be yourself. So let's go through: educate yourself, create experience, volunteer/intern, create opportunities and overwork within those volunteer internships. 5, establish relationships and trust your gut. 6, say what it is that you want and own it. And 7, be yourself. If you do all these things and you don't become a successful TV and radio host, call me. I'm sorry, but it's worked for me, and it's worked for so many other people. If you are a younger person, a college student, there are lots of scholarships out there for people that are aspiring journalists. And you know, it is worth investment. Like, people say, you don't need to go to college to be a radio host. And as I've showed you, you don't, but it really helps me, especially being at Philip Merrill College of Journalism at Maryland. I know a lot of great talent that has come out of there. My best friend is a writer on the West Coast, and a lot of people are still in broadcasting, and it's really important. So do the work, and I will see you in this industry. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me some comments, tweet me, Instagram me, all of that. And I have to jump back on the air, and I'll see you next time. Okay, I know that all seemed like kind of a lot, but it's so worth it. Working in this business has given me so many opportunities that I never thought I'd have or even deserved to have. Walking red carpets, interviewing my favorite celebrities, and just coming to work every day and connecting with people and making people happy and entertaining and being able to wear sweatpants and hoodies and sneakers to work. I love it. And I think you would too, so stick it out.